So for starters, we just want to have a power supply that's GAF certified. When I plug the power supply in, I like to keep the cord on the power supply box tight to the box. That way, in the event that the machine could possibly pull itself in the water, it would disconnect before that would happen. Then proceed to turn the power supply on to ensure you have power. The touchscreen will light up. At this point, it will give you a warning that there's no communication between the power supply and the robot. Depending on how the setup was done, you would then hit number 1 or number 2 on your remote to start the predetermined mode. As far as modes, we have cross mode, which on your screen will show random mode. We also have a V mode as well as systematic mode. As shown in the videos, these modes have different functions. Once you've secured power to the power supply and plug the cable to the power supply, you want to extend the cable out off the reel into the pool, stretching it out, looking for kinks and any twists. This is where you want to untwist those and just make sure the cable's straight. Once the cable is completely off the spool is when you can twist from the plug end and undo those kinks. The next step would be to plug the cable into the power supply and ensure that the connection is tight and the clamp is in place. Once we have power to the power box and the robot, remove the actual robot off the cart, unwrap the tether off the top of the hood, and place the robot on the side of the pool. On the remote, up button is forward, bottom button is reverse. Both forward and reverse stay engaged until you stop it. Right and left buttons you need to hold down until the desired angle of turn is reached. The number 1 and number 2 button are the start buttons that are predetermined when we do the initial setup. If you wanted to clean, say, a grate or a problem area, the plus sign in the middle of the remote stops the robot but keeps pumping. So you can, actually do spot cleaning if you have heavy debris in one section. Also, on forward and reverse on the remote, if you double click forward or reverse, it doubles the speed. Once the robot is in position, we simply hit number 1 or number 2 button on the remote to activate the predetermined modes, or you can also on the touchscreen use a number 1 or number 2 button as well to start the sequence. These sequences are set up at the time of delivery and can be changed or modified, at the customer's request. After the cycle is complete, to remove the robot from the water, simply with the remote drive the robot forward to the edge of the pool, grab hold of the tether line with the blue float, double click forward, and help the robot up and out of the pool. It will time out after 8 seconds without water. At this point, remove the hood clip, remove the hood, remove the filter plate, and pull on the little tab there to release the filter from the plate, and simply hose and clean the bag off. snap it back into place. Put the filter and filter plate back on the base of the machine, lining up the notch with the cable. Re-enter the hood, again lining up the notch with the cable. Enter the clip, and you're ready for your next cleaning. At this point, we want to wind the cable back onto the reel. A couple points, critical points. The cable only goes into the bracket one way. There's arrows indicating what direction the cable should be wound up. Doing this in reverse can cause irreversible damage to the cable, resulting in a new cable which would be charged to the customer as abuse. So it's a very simple process. It just needs to be followed the same way every time. At this time, we want to enter the cable onto the reel. A couple points. The cable, the actual plug, only goes into the bracket one way. Once it's in correctly, and there are arrows to show you this, once you start reeling up the cable, it's a nice smooth transition. As you can see, if you put it opposite, it creates a very large bend in the cable, and over time that will cause breakage of the wires inside, which will result in needing a new cable, which will not be covered under warranty, by the way. So it's a pretty important point to point out to your people on the deck. Very simple, just you need to be aware of it. Once the cable is completely on the reel, use the pin to lock the reel in place. Once the cable is properly rolled up onto the reel, place the robot itself on the base, and we are good to go for the next cleaning.